Hey, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Jen, and this is the Megaphone podcast.
Yeah, it is.
I'm Lisa.
And you're welcome.
Yeah.
Huh? I don't know.
What did I just click on? The Megaphone podcast.
Guys, it's us.
Yeah.
It's just us.
No worries.
Being goofy.
Yeah, welcome back.
Oh, sheesh. We're in our deeply rooted series.
Yes.
It's so good.
Oh my God.
And so bad.
I know.
The
This
more
one
we
especially, I'm like,
This is, yes. If you don't want to feel some kind of and conviction,
icky.
don't listen to this.
You're not ready.
This
for it
is your
today.
fair warning, right? And if you don't want to do the work, like you can listen, but just know that you're going to be so compelled, hopefully, if we do our jobs, to do the work.
Yeah. Maybe start with the Mother's Day episode where we say nice things.
Yes.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Be nice to yourself.
Be nice to yourself.
Start there.
You're wonderful.
Yeah.
And that's the point. You're not giving yourself enough credit and just showing up as your wonderful self.
Mhm.
You're trying to show up for everyone else, to be everything else for everyone else is everyone else. So exhausting. So today we're continuing with our root of rest. And we're continuing with our Chris Vallotton quote. And it's so good.
Come on, Chris.
I'm gonna give it to you one more time. Actually, I'm gonna give it to you next week too. And then that's our last one of the root of rest. And we're done with the Chris Vallotton quote.
Okay.
But you're gonna want to just put it everywhere because it's so good.
Yeah.
Revival rest is operating out of a sense of worthiness and well-being because of what Christ already purchased for us on the cross. Revival rest looks like working from love rather than for love. Working from acceptance rather than for acceptance. Today's topic, working from approval rather than for approval. Working from identity rather than for a destiny. That's next week.
I don't want to talk about approval. Okay.
I know. I just want yours.
Yeah. You could give it to both of us.
Yes.
And we'll move on.
Thank you.
We'll work on our roots later.
Unless
you would approve of that.
Yeah.
We'll work on them now. Oh my God.
This is what we do. It's a problem, Jen. It's
All right.
a problem.
How is it a problem in your life, Lisa?
Oh, approval. Oh, it is so. This is mine. Like, we can talk about all of them. Go like, yeah. That's me. This is me. And that's why I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
But I do and say a lot of things for approval. Like I puff up.
Yeah.
For approval. This is the Brene Brown authenticity mantra. Don't puff up, don't shrink back, stand your holy ground.
Mm-hmm.
And when I feel like I'm not getting your approval and you should be giving it to me, you should be giving it to me, not only giving it to me, but in the way that I require it.
Mm-hmm.
So read my mind and show up for me, please.
Why
aren't you showing me your approval with words of affirmation, with my love languages, like with like I have these really high expectations for you. You don't know this, but you are going to approve me and you're going to do it really well.
Except for when you don't,
which leaves me empty and super insecure. And then, you know what that does? I double down. I'm like, you didn't notice this? Watch this. And I
amp up.
Oh, I'm just going to amp up and amp up and amp up. And if I go for a joke and it's like, ha, 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 like, no, that was so funny. It should have been a belly laugh. Oh, double down. What about this?
Another joke.
Yeah. Like, hey, did you notice I did this for you?
Joke.
Wait. Oh, you did. Oh, I'm going to do this for like, I just do it all the time because I believe that I am whatever you think about me is what I am. And if I don't have your approval, then I'm not approved. Yuck.
Okay. In this devotional, deeply rooted.
You can buy it on my website for 99 cents additional download, or I'll send that to you. It's a hard copy for $2.99 and it's amazing. LisaGraff.com. Nice. Marketing.
It says on page number 7, working for approval is exhausting because you are oftentimes saying, look at me, look at me, look at me.
That's me. Wait, I wrote this. Yep. How does she know?
How does she know?
I so resonate. Do ya?
I feel like so seen and known by this woman. Oh my gosh, just as you're talking, I'm like, yeah, that's what you're saying. Like, I'm gonna just keep ramping up and exaggerating and making it bigger until you look at me and look at me and then approve of me. Okay, great.
Yes, that's exactly. And that's tiring.
Yeah.
And it just is so empty.
Yeah.
It's so empty.
And okay, I'm not saying this about you. I'm saying this about me.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little ugly. It's a little desperate.
Oh, it's super desperate.
Like when we act out of that, like desperation.
Oh,
like, it's
that's
not
exactly
hidden.
what it is. Oh,
people
no.
see it and they're like, oh, you're jumping up and down, basically saying, look at me, look at me, look at me. Like, does that sound attractive to you? Does that feel secure and at rest?
Oh, it is so like, it's just a flat, like, it's just, you're trying to like keep it cool. Like, please, you're talking to the master.
It's the duck on water.
I try to keep it cool. I'm like, oh yeah, it's all good. But
the feet underneath.
Yeah, it's wild. That's exactly how it is. I've never heard the duck on water. That's brilliant. Totally. That is my whole life.
Oh my God.
I am a duck on water.
Something just fell.
The duck fell into the water over there. I'm a duck on water. Yeah. What in the world?
Yeah.
Ew. That's what I do because I need your approval. Because and I hope I know I'm growing in this. I know I'm growing in this because it's been worse. Trust me. I've done a lot of things for approval.
We've all been 20.
Yes. 30.
Oh, I mean,
36 and a half. Yeah. That's it. And I just show up and I need you to see me and part of it is like this core, like wounding trauma from like my past. Like, I have felt invisible for a long time and believed I was supposed to be invisible and all of this. And so then when I feel like I'm invisible, but I just actually need approval. I don't even need approval. I just need to be seen first. So I need to be seen first and then I need your approval. So it's like all this effort, so much effort. And then I have a strategic brain. And so, which I know it surprises a lot of people. I'm not.
I see it all the time. Like, you should ride with me and then we should switch cars here. Like, it just comes out and like,
everywhere. I am a strategic thinker and but yes, it's a double-edged sword. So then I use that strategery to make sure like, okay, this is where I'm going to get the maximum approval here. And because I start manipulating. So then you're all my puppets. I'm manipulating every situation so that somehow I get what I need from you, which is your approval.
Do I look scared? I feel scared.
Yes. Oh, and it's not conscious.
Right.
It's all subconscious. It's going on out of this desperation in my brain of like, you need this, you need this, you need this.
Yeah. Why?
Oh, because I'm insecure and I haven't figured out how to really rest in my identity as fully approved by my heavenly Father.
Then you could rest in that.
Yes, just rest in it.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I know you are smart, but it's just like breaking down in my head, like very like clearly of like what we've been walking you through is like, again, we talk about problem, root, solution. So yes, this is a problem. This is my problem too. Like we both, and I'm like, why do we share in this? Like we can be so opposite sometimes, but I'm like, I just have to go back to the Enneagram of like, we're in this heart triad where our core lie that accompanies that is we believe I am what others think of me. Yes. Okay. We feel that. And so I'm like, as a 2 and a 3 on the Enneagram, I'm like, we're there in that heart triad because if we were talking to several different people who were in maybe the gut triad or the head triad, like they would have other core lies of like, I am what I have, like resources and relationships. It's not just money, you know?
Right. Oh yeah.
Or I am what I do. It's like, I am what I accomplish. Like 7, 8, 9s, I think are there or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But yucky.
Oh boy. And because I'm like, I so feel this. So it's like, our problem is that we need approval. We think we need approval. Okay. Yeah. the root comes down to, we'll unpack this more, but like kind of like we care what people think. So we feel this desperate need to get the approval of others.
Yes.
It's very others focused, obviously.
Yes. And the approval is a drug.
Oh, yeah.
That's what when we're prepping, that's what we came to.
Yes.
Like it is a drug.
Because when you get it,
something is released in your brain. And I'm sure you're looking up as science.
Probably.
Something is released. Some chemical is released. It's probably close to cocaine chemical that gets released in your brain when you get a high. Like approval is a high. Yes. You need it. And now once I get it from you, that felt so good. I want more and more and more. And it's never enough. I will puff up. It does not matter because when I've gotten the taste of it, I need it.
I'm addicted.
I'm addicted to it now.
Okay. Me too. We have this. This is a thing.
Yeah. It's a big thing.
Problem.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to get into like core wounds from my childhood or anything, but that's exactly what I'm going to do. Yeah. No, I love my parents dearly. Love, love, love. They're like my favorite people in the world, right?
Yes.
Okay.
After me, of course.
Yes. Obviously.
And her husband.
Yeah. There's like a top 5 thing going on.
It's fine. Just let this happen.
I love my dad and we have healed and we worked through so much stuff, but his wiring, he has a critical eye. He's perfectionistic. He's task-oriented. What? It popped out of Jen? I can't believe it.
I can't believe it either.
Okay. But as a little girl, there's this one story that we go to because we've talked about it. We're healed and past it, but it is a good, I think, visual and kind of example of our dynamic growing up when we were both working on ourselves. Okay. So I was so desperate for my dad's attention and approval. And you said that like, I need to be seen first, this invisibility thing. I'm like, I totally resonate with that. And the phrase look at me is like, no, you have to look first.
Yeah.
Then I want you to tell me what I'm doing is good, but you have to see me first.
Right. Oh, totally.
You see me? And my phrase, they will say this to this day of like 8-year-old Jenny running around is like, watch me, watch me, watch me. So it's the same, like, look at me, watch me, watch me. Watch me all the time. And now I hear that from kids and it's like, oh yeah, full circle. Here we go.
Yep.
But I was so desperate for my dad's attention and approval. I wanted to know that what I was doing was good and that he approved and A+, like I get the gold star basically. So there was one time, I mean, sometimes I'd go above and beyond to try to get it. And there was this one time I knew that he wanted the floor clean in our main floor. And so it was like tile basically in the kitchen, mud room, laundry room kind of area. And I knew my mom was really busy. And so 3 wing 2, I'm like achiever and helper. So I'm going to achieve to help. And I'm going to do this thing. And I got so getting excited. I'm like, they're leaving. I know he wants mom to clean the floor, but mom's really busy and like probably can't clean the floor, or it would like really help her out if I clean the floor. And so I waited till they left and now we're talking mops and hands and knees and towels. Like I went
for it.
I swept first, washed the kitchen floor everywhere. Right.
How old were you?
Young.
Like 8.
We're going to say between 8 and 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
10.
Sure.
Split the difference.
There it is. 10 years old.
10-year-old Jamie.
Doing this above and beyond.
Yeah.
Right. In that setting, like that was a big deal and surprised and so excited. And so picture an 8 to 10-year-old, like dad comes home, you hear the garage door and you're like, geez, there it is. And look at the floor. When's it going to notice? It's like this high of like, oh, here it comes. I'm about to get approval.
Yes. It's the anticipation is a high.
Oh my gosh.
The payoff is a high.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'll skip some details, but dad comes in. I'm like, did you notice anything about the floor? And he's like, oh, yeah, it looks a little cleaner. I'm like,
You guessed it. You guessed it right.
Guess who it was? Guess who? Me. So the whole bit, right? All the excitement. And in this moment of the round 2 of like, I've introduced and now here it comes. We're going to say something. I got, oh, well, I see some leaves by the back door. So it looks like you missed a spot. We are so crushing. That moment it was literally, you missed a spot. I mean, it's like, and my upbringing was, you could do 9 out of the 10 things right, but you're not going to get praise for the 9.
Yeah.
You're only going to hear about the 1.
Yes. Yuck. Yeah.
And so it's this idea of like, I was so desperate for the approval. And like, when that buildup happens and they don't deliver and they don't reciprocate or don't react, whatever, it can be soul crushing. And that's not how this was designed to be. And how does that set me up to then be a young woman and like have other relationships of like, do you approve? Do you approve? Do you approve? Like, because there was this felt void from my dad, my father figure. This is what we call daddy issues, people.
Oh boy.
Again,
we went all the way there.
Yeah.
But again, yes, you love your father. You're
close.
fine.
We're
yes.
good.
Everything's good. I've heard the story several times. So I know it just gets passed at family barbecues. So it's a common situation, but
yes, it's a problem.
But I get it. It's a problem.
And the reason it's really a problem. So I found a recent devotional like this week where the title was "People Pleasing is Idolatry." And I'm like,
no.
Oh, to break down what an idol is,
delete.
Says anything you put before a god becomes a god. And so it's like, anyone else's opinion that you're putting above God's. The church language is that that is officially an idol.
That's an idol. That's a golden calf right there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I don't like it either.
That's a problem.
Yeah. It's just so easy to do. Ugh.
This and this.
What is it?
On page 6, when you're working for approval, you're believing the lie. You see this line?
Yes, you're only as great as your greatest compliment, or as terrible as your worst critic,
or the sum of
your highs and lows. That is so me.
And it's not true.
It's not true.
It is a lie.
Right.
Believing that lie. It's a lie.
And so it's no wonder that we chase it. And the struggle I'm finding is this is not like I don't do this all the time. So then it doesn't feel like enough of a problem sometimes to try to work on.
Yeah.
You know, because I am very obedient. I love spending time with God. We have tons of conversation, lots of worship, this whole relationship that gives me this literal high that really does like fill that. And then I have experienced this walking in freedom, like in my circles, doesn't matter. Like I've lived it.
Show up. Yeah.
I can't stay there. I can't figure out how to stay there. And that's where I think like the root growing comes in, is like, well, then you need to keep working on the roots to get you anchored and secure in there. Because instead whether or not, whatever spiritually, but like, then I show up and I'm like, oh, I get your approval. That's a Band-Aid. Now I feel good. That disguises the fact that I feel really insecure in my identity. It's shaky and whatever, but that like numbs it for a second. So then I just go on my way.
Yeah, because this core lies an attack on our identity of the whole, what we're talking about with Enneagram stuff and the heart triad is like, it's a lie of I am what others think of me. That's an identity statement and it's not the truth.
No.
You are not what people think about you.
Right, exactly. And how it's like, this is part of the problem, I think. And then it goes into the solution, but this is the Galatians 2:19-21. It's from the Message version. What actually took place is this, Paul. I kept trying to keep the rules and working my head off to please God, and it didn't work. Problem. So I quit. Amen. Being a lawman so that I could be God's man. And so that is, it kind of gets into the solution, but I'll keep going with it.
Yeah.
I quit being a lawman so that I could be God's man. Christ's life showed me how and enabled me to do it. I identified myself completely with him. If you want to talk about identity, huge. It's no longer important, Lisa, that you appear righteous before you or have your good opinion. And I am no longer driven to impress God. Christ lives in me, and the life you see me living is not mine, but it is lived by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. Ah, it's no longer important that I appear, not that I am righteous, but I appear righteous before you. Well, I don't care about your good opinion. I identify myself with Christ.
Yeah, that's the only one that matters too.
Yes.
So he's in me, and I'm made in his image, and
we're the same.
I can rest from love and from acceptance and from approval.
Okay, talk to me more about the people pleasing as the idol.
Okay,
is that what you're doing?
No.
Oh, never mind.
In that, yes. Okay, in that devotional, guess what scripture is referenced? Galatians 1:10. It says, I'm not trying to win the approval of people, but of God. If people pleasing were my goal, I would not be Christ's servant. I'm like,
oh.
So if you're serving a master,
this is an either or.
It is.
Yes. There's not a lot of wiggle room in that situation.
No, you can't do both.
You can flip flop.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can't do both.
That is a great point. No. It's like you have to pick one.
Yeah.
There's only one person, people, beings, opinion. There's only one slot. Whose are you going to work for? Whose are you going to care about?
Yep. Who gets to sign on the dotted line of who you are and what you think about yourself? Oh, I just so want that to be God.
I know. We want, our intentions are that he is the only one that matters.
Yeah.
But the way that we're living,
it's really hard to show up that way.
But if you could give me approval, I would feel really good. And then I could get it again someday.
Yep.
And I can feel good about myself.
Yes. And then instead of working for God, then I'm working for you.
Yeah.
For me. It's actually selfishness. I'm actually working for me because I need more. It's never enough.
Yeah. Okay. In this devotional, John 5:30 also basically says, I'm living for an audience of one. I'm like, yeah, one. Again, one.
Yeah.
The top spot, it's one.
Yeah.
It's God.
Yeah. Just keep him in the slot.
Yes.
There's your solution.
Yes.
And wrap.
Yes. Okay. You know how I like to do this now. You're getting
you got to read from
pattern.
The devotional.
I do. Okay. Page 7. Last paragraph before prayer. What? There's a prayer? Yeah, there's a prayer.
Yeah.
Go read it. It's amazing. You are fully approved by your heavenly Father.
Yeah. I like that.
The creator of the universe. What?
Stamp of approval.
He created you to enjoy this truth as you go to work as your best. Love those around you as your best and invite others into this genuine relationship with Jesus so that they too can discover the peace that comes from becoming who they were created to be. Overflow much using the gifts and talents that God has so generously given.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we should do. That's a good idea.
Yes. Just remember, and it comes from your relationship with God, this constant communion, this make yourself at home in my love. That's what we talked about a couple of podcast episodes ago. Make yourself at home. You got to settle into this. It's like, you can't, I saw this quote, but it's like, why don't go to the well when you can have the living water, so don't go back and dip into church every week and get your thing. Yeah. Don't go to the well. You have living water, tap into living water.
Yeah. Get your roots
just
down
sourced so that you're remaining within the love. And then you're just walking around like a little love bubble.
Yeah.
You're remaining in it, and then it just overflows and shows up. But you got to stay there so that you get used to how it feels being accepted and approved and loved.
Yes. Because as you're talking, I'm like, yeah, I want to do that. I want to have the living. I don't want to go back to the well.
Yeah.
How do I do that? And I'm like, this is what this series is all about over the summer. It's these 3 R's. And right now we're still in number 1 for rest. How do you get to the living water? You dig deep, these roots of first one is rest.
Rest.
And rest from love and from acceptance and from approval.
Yes. And it just is like there's no striving. There's no like that's how it feels. Like, I need it. Like
the people.
What if you just rested and then really focused and got really intentional about growing your roots?
Yeah.
And work with God. And if you're like, God, I want this, but I don't know how to get there, you think he's gonna be like, good luck finding your way.
Bye.
No, he wants nothing more for you than to just rest.
Because then he can overflow through you and he gets the glory.
Right. And he gets to do the work.
Yeah.
And you get to rest. Amazing.
For crying out loud.
I know. I get very passionate about this.
Mainly
because I need it really bad in my life. I just
go rest from approval.
Instead of the back and forth and the back and forth and the waffling and the wind whipping and all
the
stuff,
ugly desperation.
I'm so flashing back to going, that was like a juvenile.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have had several moments of like,
yikes.
Are you like in junior high?
Yeah.
Going, hey.
Look at me.
Ew.
I had one of those today. Like running errands. I'm like, I did a work thing. I felt like I went above and beyond and immediately and it was the right thing to do. Okay. So when I'm done with that thing of like, way to go. You did your job. You did the right thing.
Yeah.
What do you like? What do you need? You have a piece about that. You know, that was good.
Yeah.
That should be enough. Like God approves. You feel good about what you did.
Yeah.
I was like, not even to my car after stop number 1. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to tell everybody what I did. All my work people. I'm going to like, should I text? Should I voice message? Should I email?
Yeah.
Who should be on the email? And what exactly should I say? Because I have to disguise that so that I don't show them that I'm looking for approval. And it was like, I was so giddy again. Like I'm washing the floor going, is he going to jump up and down? I'm about to get high. And then my mom's going to be so happy too. Like you saved me all the work of washing the floor. Yeah. Thank you. Like, no, I was like anticipating the reactions and who was going to have the best one. So I'm like, he's got to be on there for sure. He might say something really nice. Like, oh my gosh. And I was like, ew. Like I saw myself and was like, this is unattractive. Like this is desperate. And let's not figure out ways to disguise it. Let's just not do that.
Yeah.
Like, don't tell them that you did this.
Yes. And what that's maturity. That's like health. And then it's a letdown too. You're like, no, I want to be immature because I want to be high.
And I want to go up on stage and take a bow. Like I want the recognition. I want you to tell me that I did a good thing.
Yes.
So that I feel good.
Right. And instead of that coming naturally in conversation, you're going to force your way.
Yeah. And then they might be like, okay,
great. Yeah, then they could let you down, and then you're disappointed in them, and then you're carrying around all these extra emotions.
Be like my dad, circa whatever year that was. Like, you missed a spot. Did you go to that spot too? Oh no, you didn't.
Oh, bummer.
Guess you could be better.
Run for your life. Yeah, I also had an experience this week going. I'm not going to tell you what it was. It's so embarrassing.
Oh my God.
I don't want anybody to hear it.
But you were.
It's just, I was very much, I need to prove myself. I need to prove myself and I need your approval of my proving
right now.
And it's going to take 1 second for me to gain this victory. Like that's all it takes. Like, but again, this is like the 6th strategery going.
But then it's fleeting and then you need it again.
Yeah.
Oh, all for 1 second.
For 1 second. 1 second. It's a 1 second recognition, 1 second of being seen.
Yes.
And it's like,
there it is.
Got it.
It does it. It's like a drug.
Oh, it is. Oh, how do we wean off of this?
We get permission.
We get permission.
Yeah.
Just, you have permission. I'm going to call you Honey Bear. Okay. You have permission, Honey Bear, today to just rest because you are already fully approved.